Warning, this content contains extreme spoilers and beyond.
Hey folks, Ron Stringer, back with part 2 of Love, Death, and Robots. So we're going to pick up where we left off. We left off at when Yoga took over. So the next story is Beyond the Aquila Rift. This was one of my favorite stories because of the whole Outer Limits feel that you get, well, that I got from watching it. I believe it starts off with at least one guy coming out of like cryo sleep, and there's a woman there, and he seems to know this woman, and they talk for a bit, then they have sex, CGI sex, and then, they have some more CGI sex, and they talk some more, and I believe she might have told him the half-truth that he was 10,000 or so many light years away from where he was supposed to be, and he's a bit mad about it, but I guess CGI sex fixes that. Anyhow, she suggests that they wake up another of his team. I think it was like at least 3 of them. So they do, and he's talking to her and saying, what's the last thing you remember? I'm pretty sure it was something to do with their last mission. And then dreams, she said. He said, what kind of dreams? And she looked over to the woman and she said, this kind. So she kind of flips out and cuts the lady because she got the revelation or something. Anyhow, the woman has a cut on her neck. So later on that night, well, after they sedate this lady and put her back in cryo sleep, they lay in bed and he sees that the cut is gone. So now he wants the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And she really doesn't want to tell him, but she seems to really care about him, and she says so. And then she says she cares about everyone that comes here, all the lost souls. But I'm leaving a part out, a part that made me suspicious. When she said, when they sedated this lady, well, she sedated the lady, she said, we'll try again later. And then she said, as many times as it takes. So that led me to believe that it's either happened many times before or it will happen several times after. Now, back to this. So she's telling him, well, actually, she takes the illusion off of what he thinks he is in the ship with his ex-girlfriend, I guess, and comes to find out that he is in some kind of, he's still in the cryo joint, but he's been there for so long. He hasn't eaten. You could tell by he's really emaciated. The other 2, I'm sure, are dead. Now, they didn't die I'm sure they died of starvation, because this alien who resembles a spider has him there in this dream world, I guess, until he dies. It's a really good story. Like I said, it's got that Outer Limits feel to it. Man, I was expecting to hear the song at the end. And
the Outer Limits. Please stand by.
But it was he was pretty scared of the monster. I mean, he should have just been scared of, I guess, starving to death. Like, you care about me, won't you get me some damn food in here? And we could be together in a dream world. But no. That's Beyond the Aquila Rift.
Inside, I don't have to hide if you're
Good Hunting. Now, Good Hunting starts off with, I don't want to say feudal Japan, but it's Japan, I guess, and it's looking a lot like Sekiro in there those days, and it's right before the industrial era, and this movie takes it, gotta take it left and shit. So the industrial era led to basically steampunk. So, as a boy, this kid, he hunted with his dad what to me is essentially a nine-tailed fox, or the Pokemon Vulpix or something like that. It can change from women to nine-tailed foxes. So he's hunting this nine-tailed fox lady because they're under the assumption that nine-tailed fox women suck souls out of men and take advantage of them. Hunt, like put them in a trance and suck their soul out. I think it's a myth. They don't do that. The truth is, men fall in love with the nine-tailed fox women, and I guess they love them back. But then, it's frowned upon, and then the town like she bewitched them or some shit. So, anyhow, I'm pretty sure he was commissioned to kill the nine-tailed fox. So they have a bowl of piss, and the dad yells to the son, quickly roll the piss on her before she changed. And I like this part of the joint. Son is like in a trance, hypnotized in a sense. I don't think he was even hypnotized. I just think that he might have never saw a lady this beautiful before. So the dad runs by, and the look he gave his son, like he looked him dead in his eyes, like, why the fuck you ain't throw that piss? And it was real fast. Because he ran, grabbed the piss, looked at him, fuck you ain't throw that piss, and then threw the piss on her. So she got the piss on her and was trapped in between human and nine-tailed fox. So she runs off, he chases, he gets to slice her arm or her hand off, and while this is going on, the son, he ran another way, I guess, to try to head her off, and he bumps into a nine-tailed fox girl, about his age probably, and he's scared, and she basically wants to know why do they hunt them. And he told her, because y'all suck souls out of men. And she like, no, men fall in love with us and they lie on us, basically. Well, not the men, but people. And then she was like, I saw how you looked at me. And yeah, he gave her a look. Dad kills the mom in front of the girl. But he doesn't see her because she's like hidden off on the side. The son knew she was there. So once the dad decapitates the mom, he asked the son, was there any more, like cubs? The son said no, like you would think he would. So the industrial age comes in fully, and the dad is dead, and the son says that he's glad that his father is dead because he wouldn't have been able to handle this new time. Now with the industrial age, you learn that the nine-tailed fox girl, actually, they became friends. She can't really change anymore and go hunting. It's because of the industrial age, and she says his magic is fading and all that. He's decided to leave the town, or leave this place, leave Japan and go to Europe, I think, with Englishmen, and they're kind of prejudiced towards him, and he is good at his job, which is fixing the trains, and they kind of treat him like shit, like a half a person and all. But as long as he's fixing trains, I guess he's happy. And he's really good at it, like with machinery and all. One day, he's going home, I guess, and he sees his nine-tailed fox friend. She's over there now as a prostitute. And I don't know how long she's been there, but she seemed to have, rough times as prostitutes do, especially then. 3 guys is hassling her, most likely gonna rape her, and he makes them stop, and they like trying to, man, get out of here and mind your business. And he has like a giant wrench on his hip, and he grabbed for it, and they was like, you know what, we don't even want no trouble. So they get out of there, and he talks to her, and she tells her story about how she had to get over there, and she really does have to hypnotize guys to steal money, to survive. She had to do what she had to do. I guess they part ways, and she goes to be a prostitute some more. Now, he's learning how to fix more than just trains. He's starting to make robots, automatons. Not for a real purpose, like make robot animals and things of that nature. But it was, I'm pretty sure he made a great profit off of this stuff because he was damn good at it. Like, how many of us can make robots? I can't. I would have been done it if I could. But the important part is the prostitute, Nine-Tailed Fox lady, she comes in the service of some politician, I believe the governor or a governor, or maybe that was just his name. I don't know. But he's rich, and I take it she was in his service for a while before he must have decided, I don't like women, I like robot chicks, so I'm gonna splice you up and make you a robot chick. I don't know how science worked back then, or in this fictional story, but she was alive when they did it. There was no sedatives or anything. There's a lot of screaming and pain, saws and everything. I don't know how she survived. Maybe because she's a Nine-Tailed Fox lady. Anyhow, after this, I guess he having sex with his robot lady. And then one night he wanted to, and she didn't. And he went to go hit her. I guess like maybe he would have normally done. But since she's a cyborg now, she ripped his face off. And I'm not sure if something happened to her. I think something might have happened to her at this time. She goes to her friend for help. And she says, she shows him her robot body. And she's like, I need your help. I want to go hunting again. I want to make these guys pay. She always says, they think they own us. The people that think they own us. So he makes her a slick ass Nine-Tailed Fox lady transforming body, so she can change back and forth now with her robot body. It's a really cool scene. And she goes out hunting. He tells her good hunting, and she runs into those same guys that was gonna rape her. They trying to rape another lady in the alley, and she kills him. I imagine, you know, she leaps at the screen and, you know, bites down on the screen and turns black. I would like to see more of that. That is Good Hunting, one of my favorite stories in all of the stories. Next, we got The Dump. Now, I've been watching movies for a long time, so I get the nuances that they be throwing out. Like, this story is about a guy, to me he was filthy, because he lived on a dump. And he lived there for over 20 years, which is crazy, but hey. So as this guy comes there, I don't know his exact title or what he is, but he was telling this guy he had to leave the land because the rich people said so. Now, if it's his dump, I would think he would have to get some kind of compensation or something. You can't just run him off. The guy, he didn't too much care. Like, yeah, whatever. And he said, by the time we sit and drink these beers, which they didn't look good. They was all probably hot and shit. The guy, he drank that shit though. I didn't want to drink that shit. But yeah, he tell him, by the time we drink these beers, and I'll tell you a story and see if you don't change your mind after that. But before he got into the story, he called his Doug Otto. You see that? Put my antennas up right there, like calling Otto. So I'm even thinking that your Doug is going to get this man, like maybe there's a big Rottweiler that's just going to chew the face off this guy. That's what I thought. So he tells a story about him chilling with his friend. His friend is trying to get him to leave the dump, get out and see the world, or see something. At least see around the neighborhood, I guess. Because I don't think he ever leaves. I'm not too much different. I don't live at a dump, but I'm not much for exploring and traveling and people. The friend like, yeah, whatever, man. Ain't no women around here. And he had some kind of dummy mannequin. I guess that was his girlfriend, you know. So he's like, man, I'll be back. I gotta take a piss. So he goes to piss, and you just see trash and stuff flying from over there. And he didn't ever pick up his damn pants. And he pulled out his pistol. Something got him. But he could hear the guy who owns the dump, he can hear the shots. He's thinking that his friend is shooting rats. And he's saying not to shoot the rats because they're good company. Yeah. So he just hears more shots. So he's like, oh man, no, what the fuck going on? So he get his gun and he go out there, and he can see this thing absorb his friend, like eat him, but not like a chompy chomp eat, just absorb him. So he tried shooting it and he blasted a piece off. It was wounded, like oil or something came out of it. And then he chases after it and he like, man, fuck this. He gets into his forklift and chase it down and spears it to the fence, and really fucked it up. Lift the forks up and everything, so he could see that it's hurt and there's a dug inside. And he like, man, whatever. He backs off of it, and I guess he had an idea, probably fed the thing, made it feel good, and they became friends. That thing was Otto. Otto comes at the end, eats the guy trying to make him get off the land, and then they play fetch with his hand. Also, he kept asking him, well, he didn't ask the guy for a light, but he wanted one, and the guy wouldn't give him. He had a real fancy lighter. So as he gets ate by Otto, the guy, like, he walks over, like he just knew this lighter was gonna come out, so he could get the lighter, light a cigarette. Like, everything comes to, why do I have to leave when the world comes to me? That's how the dump ends. It's an alright story. Not the greatest, but that story kind of reminded me of something out of Creepshow. Yeah, that story was reminiscent of Creepshow to me. I don't know what it'd be to you. Shapeshifters, once again, gave itself away in the immediate beginning. All I could see is a soldier walking through, the Middle Eastern town, urban Middle East, and he don't have on any shoes. So that put my antennas up. He got a whole platoon behind him in the Humvee, and he's just walking with no shoes. So I immediately think something's up with him. Like either he's some kind of super soldier, or maybe an earthbender. Why'd you say earthbender? Because Toph never wore no shoes. Anyhow, it was better for earthbender. But yeah, back to this. Turns out he's some kind of wolf guy, and he gets shot 2 times. You don't find out he's a wolf guy yet, but he can see way down far where the shots is coming from. It's really far, and he could see, and he directs the guys to hit the target, way down there. He says it's a small building with a white side. He described it to a T. He might even describe the guy too. But they hit him eventually. So they return to the barracks and joke around a bit, the 2 wolf guys. The bigger one is named Sobieski. And they get hassled by the troops that, like, they're people. And Sobieski kind of takes up for the one who took 2 bullets, and he tells him, this guy took 2 bullets for you, and this is how you want to treat him? Because basically it was lunchtime, and they like, we don't want you to sit at our table, that 5th grade bullshit. Sobieski gets really mad and threatens the guys. They kind of stand down. The sergeant comes in and gives Sobieski a new mission, which is basically to go be in this lookout at night with, I guess every time they do a mission, at least one of the wolf guys go. They had him and some other troops up there, and it was nighttime, and they got wiped the fuck out. Like, they even, called their radio for help and shit, but they were wiped out. By the time they got mobilized to go from here to there, it was over with. So I'm gonna call the other wolf guy the American wolf. Not in London, not in Paris. But the American wolf, he's torn up about Sobieski being killed, and the sergeant's like, well, how the fuck that happened? And he said it was another wolf. Anyhow, they tasked him with going out there and sniffing him out, because he has the scent now. He does. He actually finds the guy on the first try. The guy looks at him, he looks at the guy, he looks back at the guy did the Batman, he was gone.
He does that.
And there was another guy with him, but it's unclear if he was in on it or with the guy or not. He was just there beside him. So he tells the rest of the platoon or the troops that, he didn't find anything. So later on that night, he sneaks out. Then there's an older wolf, and he throws Sobieski's dog tags down at him. And they both transform, and the American wolf gets blindsided by another wolf, seemingly younger. You know, they scrapping real hard. The American wolf's arm gets like ripped mostly off, it's just dangling. He gets the upper hand on the younger wolf, face ripped off. There's a lot of face ripping off in this thing. Well, not in this one, but in the whole Love, Death, and Robots. I guess that's the death part. So now it's just the old wolf and the American wolf. And I guess the American wolf wins. And he returns to the camp and picks up Sobieski's body, takes off his own dog tags, throw them shits down, said he quit, and he just rolled on out. Nobody stopped him. I mean, they probably thought about it, but then they didn't want to get fucked up by a werewolf, so they let him go. And that's the end of that. That is Shapeshifters. It's a pretty cool story. I like werewolves. And so, yeah, it was good. Next, we have Helping Hand. Helping Hand is a real short story, and I'm going to run through it along with Fish Night. Fish Night is my least favorite story of all. So, Helping Hand, woman in space, gets her suit pierced by a nail of all things. What's the nail doing in space? I don't know. But it pierced her suit. She's running out of air. She calls for help. They tell her 50 something minutes. And she has 14 minutes worth of air. She slows it down by tightening something around her upper arm. And she uses her brain the whole time she's out there. At first, it seemed like she went to sleep or something. And she wakes up and has an idea. Newton's third law. Equal and opposite force. And she throws her glove, takes her glove off and throws it the opposite way where she wants to go. And she goes, floating the other way, but she misses the ship, misses her where she was trying to grab. She missed it. This time, I assume space is really cold. I've never been, and I don't believe everything I see on TV. But her arm was froze. It was painful, I guess. It wasn't like happy fun times and shit. So she ripped her arm off and threw that the opposite way she wanted to go. Now this time she makes it to her ship. And she gets in there, she talks to command like, I'm alright. I'm sure it was like drinks on me or something when I get back, or drinks on them when I get back. Anyway, that is Helping Hand. Fish Night. Two guys in the desert, well, in the middle of nowhere, bored as hell, talking about stuff. They get stranded at night because someone didn't do something to the car. They put oil or water in it. Like a state back or something. So they're stuck out there, and all of a sudden, neon fish come out of nowhere, float around. Now, it's an older guy and a younger guy. I originally thought were father and son, but maybe they're just co-workers. Salesmen or something. I didn't know we still had those. So, the younger guy strips ass naked and for some reason wants to go floating with the fish. And he does, and then gets chomped on by a megalodon. And that's Fish Night. Be hounding at you guys with part 3, the final part to Love, Death, and Robots. Hound.